What is a strong indicator that someone is dumb? They can't admit when they don't know much about a subject. If they don't know, nobody knows. I've said I don't know enough about this to make a comment on it many times, and some people will look at you like they've never heard such a phrase in their life. Just confusion and disbelief. I just don't like to find out I'm wrong down the road. Makes me feel dumb. So I withhold my opinion on subjects I don't know enough about. Came here to say this. Smarter people, or at least people with a lot of knowledge, tend to be more aware of how much they don't know. Because they are aware of how much work is involved in becoming an expert in any given subject. Gotta be smart enough to know you don't know. Ignorance of a topic doesn't equate to stupidity. Stupidity is knowing better and still going with it anyway. Yet the inability to say the words I don't know. They believe everything they read on Facebook and Reddit, Reddit, and Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all social media. Think for yourselves. Second edit. Thanks for awards, fellow humans. It's sad that the people who told we can't believe everything we see on TV now believe everything they read on the internet. This comments section is the most I've played devil's advocate so far. I've met a lot of old people that believe anything they see on the internet, and most of it is just because they're old and didn't grow up with it. Their internet was newspapers. I'm sure you can see how that evolved into blindly trusting the internet. Plus I'd put this as more naive than dumb. I blank out when someone asks me an intelligent question. It takes me several minutes to even come up with the wrong answer. I know that I am dumb. Edit. Dumbfounded. You're self-aware at least. That's a sign of intelligence as well. Sounds a lot like social anxiety. I suspect if you were 100% comfortable around the person asking the question, you'd be well able to answer it. That is not being dumb. It's more social anxiety. And your brain blocks out and affects your memory. I have that during exams. Being dumb is when you are so oblivious that you can't even admit you could possibly have the wrong answer even when you know so little about a topic. Not questioning things. I question this. It's either they're dumb, they don't care, or they are hoping waiting it out will reveal more context clues. Worse is only asking questions that support the view you already have. Good questioning should go both ways. I got in a debate with a guy about religion. I'm religious, he is atheist. He started the debate and pressed on even after I tried to tell him I didn't want to debate. Towards the end of the debate he told me scientists and science isn't meant to be questioned. I told him a scientist would probably disagree with him, lol. When they think everything they say is correct and anything anyone else says is wrong. Yes, I shall trust you on this topic more than the guy who basically dedicated his life to the studying of the thing you are talking about. I tend to start asking first, where did you get that info from, and then I'd look if there's solid info and science on whatever they say. Of course, if it's science I shall make sure it's actually good peer-reviewed studies and what exactly the study was talking about. My dad is famous for this. Anything his co-workers say is the most expert advice, and no science or common sense can speak against that. Unwilling to understand that they made a mistake or they are wrong even when given evidence about it. Unwilling to change their mind. Unwilling to realize that they can be wrong on occasion. This. An inability or unwillingness to learn from feedback and new information. The best is when you point out a mistake with well-meaning intention to help and they take it as a personal attack and tell you to do it from now because you're so much better than they are. No, I am not better than you. I just thought you might like to know you used principle when you should have used principle. That matters on an accounting document. This sounds very much like narcissism. I know a few narcissists who know they're in the wrong and understand as well. They're actually intelligent, but won't admit to their mistakes when confronted. They use personal insults when confronted with hard evidence against their views. V equals ST. I fucked your mum. People do this shit all the fucking time and it is the most annoying thing on the planet. Yes. Personal insults never bode well. If someone has hurt or wronged you, then speak of that. Not how you think they are ugly. The inability to have a debate without interrupting or repeating the same arguments over and over. Bonus points if they insult you in the process. Oof, I know somebody like that. Honestly, do not get into a debate with them. You're wasting your time. I believe X. X wouldn't work because of ABC. That doesn't mean Y is unfeasible. We weren't talking about Y. We were talking about X. Why are you afraid of Y? I'm not afraid, it's just off topic because def has nothing to do with X. Facipum. Circular logic. You can't reason with them because reason doesn't exist in their part of the world. Their minds just keep going around and around. Like a dog chasing their tail after it's been chopped off. Poverty of imagination. Something is either extremely concrete, right there in front of their eyes, or they don't get it and get annoyed with you pretty quickly if you try to make them use their imaginations to understand your point. Nothing they do or say is original. It's copied whole cloth from other people and media that they like. Other people's originality strikes them as annoying randomness. If you ask for any kind of unusual request or special consideration, this breaks their brain, and they usually jump to the conclusion you're trying to cheat them. This is both a safe conclusion to jump to if you're not very bright, and a legitimization for expressing the frustration they feel for not being able to follow what the hell you're trying to say, and your failure to just fall in line and be no trouble to them. I feel like this better answers the question than most of these responses, which seem more targeted at people who are indoctrinated or emotionally immature. Poverty of imagination is a great phrase. I'm gonna use it. I'll add to this an inability to understand analogies. If you try to explain something to them using an analogy, they either won't understand at all, or they'll just say, well, that's completely different, without offering any further argument. There was a girl in my school who said there was a second Mexico in the Caribbean. I admit that there are places she could mean, but she had literally just come back from a holiday there and couldn't remember what it was called. This same girl also boasted about having more chromosomes than everyone else. Edit 2. Further explanation. That's dumb. Everyone knows they installed the New Mexico down next to Arizona. Were they wrong though? About the chromosomes, I mean. Did you by any chance call them my homie with an extra chromie? Mexico 2. Revenge of Guacamole. They assume someone is dumb based solely on whether or not that person agrees with them. There can be incredibly logical thought processes behind both sides of an argument. I did this a lot when I was younger. As I got older, I realized how circumstance, culture, education, life experience and so many other factors affected how people perceived a thing, and it may be very different from my own perception. It took time for me to learn to understand all of this and ultimately empathize. I think it's a natural part of the maturation process. I just took my time. Don't be a parrot. Back up your opinions with your own thoughts. Unless it's whether or not aliens built the pyramids 8. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more Reddit videos.